Measurement of power. The next topic is measurement of power in three-phase circuits. Measurement of power in three-phase systems. A three-phase system is one in which the source and load are of three-phase. So to measure the power in three-phase system, a scientist named Blondel, gave a theorem in order to measure the power in three-phase system, and that particular theorem is called as Blondel's theorem, which is given by the scientist named Blondel. According to Blondel's theorem, let me write here. According to Blondel's theorem, according to Blondel's theorem, a M phase system in a M phase system, the total power can be measured. In a M phase system, the total power can be measured using either M watt meters or M minus 1 watt meters. M watt meters or M minus 1 watt meters. Okay. So when we use M watt meter and when we use M minus 1 watt meter, if the neutral is provided, and it acts as a common point for all wattmeter, then we can go for using M wattmeters. Otherwise, if the neutral is not provided, and any one of the line is taken as a common point, then we can use M minus 1 watt meters. To measure three-phase power. Okay, let me read it again for you. According to Blondel's theorem, Blondel is the name of the scientist who gave this theorem based upon the measurement of power in three-phase system using wattmeters. According to Blondel theorem, in a M phase system, the total power can be measured using either M wattmeters or M minus 1 wattmeters. We can use either M wattmeters or we can use M minus 1 less than wattmeter. When we can go for using M wattmeters? If the neutral is provided and it acts as a common point. In a three-phase system, if the neutral is provided, for example, then we can use 3 wattmeters. In a three-phase system, if the neutral is not provided and any one of the line is considered as a common point, then we can use M minus 1 wattmeters. So I am using this theorem for our system, which is three-phase system. Here it is for M phase system and here it is for three-phase system. Now in place of M, what we have? M is equal to 3. Now for a three-phase system, we have two configurations or two type of arrangements. One is three-phase 4-wire arrangement and another one is three phase three wire arrangement. Three phase four wire or three phase three wire. In three phase three wire we have neutral, whereas in three phase four wire you have neutral. In three phase three wire you don't have neutral. Now uh, three phase means the power in three phase four wire system has neutral, and we can use neutral as the common point for all the watt meters. In that case, how many watt meters you can use? 3 watt meters. Whereas in three phase three wire system there is no neutral. When there is no neutral and we use any one line as the common line, in that case we can go for using m minus 1. Here m is 3, so m minus 1 is 2, right? So finally in a three phase system we can measure the power either by using 3 watt meters or by using 2 watt meters. Okay, let us see each one. Now first method is 3 watt meter method. When we can use 3 watt meter method? If the system is a three phase four wire system containing the neutral, and we need to use the neutral as the common point for all the watt meters, in that case we can measure the power using 3 watt meters. Okay, so 3 watt meter method for measuring three phase power. This is the first method which we will understand. 3 watt meter method for measuring three phase power. Let us see that. If you consider this as the load, so I am considering the load with star connection. So it is a three phase star connected lagging load. Generally the power system loads are of lagging nature, right? So this is a three phase star connected lagging load. Okay, let me write here, it is a three phase star connected lagging load. Now what is the another wire? Because when I want to measure the power by using 3 watt meter method, I must have a neutral. So this is the fourth wire which is neutral. I am considering this as first wire, and this as a second wire, and this as third wire, right? And you have a supply which can be taken from here, though it is a three phase four wire balanced supply. In general the supply is of balanced nature. Okay, so from here you have a three phase four wire balanced supply is giving to these lines, right? Now how can I measure the power by using 3 watt meters? So let me connect like this each and every watt meter. So I am connecting each and every watt meter in a line, in one line, right? So because we need to connect the current coil, as we need to connect the current coil, I am opening this, so like this, and this is another watt meter, and this is another watt meter. So the current coils are connected in series to the load for each and every phase. And what about the potential coil? So I am right now I don't want to consider the small errors that may create because of the connections, the watt meter. Okay, so you have a potential coil and you have the potential coil here, and I am connecting the like this, and in addition to that we also have the potential coil like this, right? So here if you observe, I am assuming this watt meter, or like this I am writing this watt meter as W1, and I am assuming this watt meter as W2 and this watt meter as W3. Okay, so the watt means the current coils of the watt meters W1, W2 and W3 are connected in series to the star connected load, whereas the potential coils, okay, so this is the current coil, this is the potential coil, here this is the current coil and this is the potential coil, and here this is the current coil and this is the potential coil, right? Now the current coils of the three wattmeters are connected in series to the load, and the potential coils of the three wattmeters are connected in between the particular line and the neutral. Okay, so the potential coil of W1, if you observe, the potential coil of W1 is connected in between mm, the line 1 and neutral. This is neutral, right? This is neutral. Similarly, the potential coil of the wattmeter W2 is connected between line 2 and neutral, and the potential coil of W3 is connected in between line 3 and neutral, whereas the current coil of W1 is in series to line 1, is in series to line 1, and current carrying coil of W2, which is wattmeter 2, is in series to line 2. Similarly, current carrying coil of W3 is in series to line in series to line 3. Okay, so I am assuming the impedance of this impedance which is connected in between the line 1 and neutral as Z1, and the impedance which is connected in between line 2 and neutral as Z2, and the impedance which is connected in between line 3 and neutral as Z3. Okay, so here line 1 is nothing but it is in series to Z1, in series to Z2, in series to Z3. So the current coil is connected in series to the impedances, and the potential coils are connected in between the line and neutral, right? Now let us give some names for these voltages. Okay, this is the voltage which is considered from the line 1 and neutral, so I can consider this as V1, right? With plus and negative, and here also it is plus and negative, and this voltage is V2, and I am considering this voltage as V3, which is the voltage in between the line 3 and neutral. Similarly, the current entering to the load 1 is assumed as I1, the current entering to the load 2 is assumed as I2, and the current entering to the load 3 is assumed as I3, right? Now let us see how this 3 watt meters are measuring the total power. Okay, it is a 3-phase 4-wire system. When it is a 3-phase 4-wire system, you definitely have a neutral. When you have a neutral, you can use the 3 watt meters in order to measure the 3-phase power, right? Now observe here. Let us assume P1 as the instantaneous power, P1 as the instantaneous power, measured by W1, measured by W1. Similarly, small p2 is the instantaneous power measured by W2. P3 I am assuming as the instantaneous power measured by W3. Now tell me what is the instantaneous power measured by W1? It is the product of instantaneous voltage and instantaneous current. So what is the instantaneous voltage that this W1 is measuring? It is small v1. Okay, so here the assumption, very important assumption is, in measuring three phase power using different wattmeters, the assumption is all the errors uh, due to the connections, all errors due to connections in all the wattmeters are neglected. As they are of very small value, we can neglect the error uh, created due to uh, the connections. We are neglecting this. Hence, the voltage measured by the pressure coil here, this is the voltage, this is the instantaneous voltage, and this voltage is same as this voltage if we neglect this drop here. So the instantaneous voltage measured by the pressure coil of W1 is V1, and the instantaneous current is I1. Similarly, the instantaneous voltage measured by the wattmeter W2 is V2, and the instantaneous current is I2, and this is V3 into I3. Now, what is the total instantaneous power measured by W1, W2 and W3? Okay, so total instantaneous power is equal to V1 I1 V2 I2 plus V3 I3. This is nothing but the total power in three phase circuit, total power in three phase four wire system just now we have seen. Okay, so the power measured, total instantaneous power measured, and total instantaneous power of the three phase system both are same. Okay, so total instantaneous power of the three phase system is a summation of these three, and the total power measured by all the wattmeters is same. So by adding the readings of all the wattmeters, which is W1 plus W2 plus W3, you can obtain the total average power or total power consumed by this three phase four wire system, or consumed by three phase star connected lagging load. Okay, so this is about 3 wattmeter method for measuring the three phase power. Each and every wattmeter is measuring the power of that particular phase, right? By connecting the current coil in series to the load, and by connecting the pressure coil in between the particular line and neutral. Here neutral is considered as a common point. Here the neutral is considered as a common point. Okay, now this is useful when, let me write with separate color. So important note here is you need to keep in our mind. First note, this 3 wattmeter method, this 3 wattmeter method is used for unbalanced loads, usually unbalanced load. If the load is unbalanced, means if Z1, Z2, Z3 are not equal, then we can call such type of load as an unbalanced load. If the load is unbalanced one, then we can go for using 3 wattmeter method. Okay, when the load is balanced, let me go to the second note. See here, when the load is balanced, No need to measure the power in all the three phases. If you measure the power in one phase and multiplying that with 3, you can obtain the three phase power directly. So when the load is in balanced condition, there is no need to go for using 3 watt meters in each and every phase. We can use only 1 watt meter with the current carrying coil connected in series to, or with current carrying coil on any one of the line, and the pressure coil is in between that particular line and the neutral. So if the load is balanced, let me write here, if the load is balanced, then then single watt meter is sufficient. Single watt meter is sufficient. Why? Because uh, for the remaining phases also you will have the same power if you use 3 watt meters. So instead of using 3 watt meters, which makes the arrangement, or which complicates the connection between the watt meters, so instead of using 3 watt meters you can use only 1 watt meter if the load is balanced. So by multiplying the reading of that particular watt meter with 3, you can get the total 3 phase power. Okay. So these two are the two important points which you need to keep in your mind. If the 3 phase load is an unbalanced load, then only we can go for 3 watt meter method to measure the total 3 phase power. Right. So this is about 3 watt meter method. Now we will see 2 watt meter method. So the next topic is 2 watt meter method. 2 watt meter method. 2 watt meter method. Okay. Now if you observe here, I am using again the star connected load. Star connected load. It may be balanced or unbalanced. As of now, I don't bother about that. First of all, I need to understand how to connect the watt meters in order to measure the power. Okay. So you don't have neutral. So the supply is a 3 phase 3 wire supply. Now how to connect the watt meters? Now how to connect the watt meters? Let us see that. So here for this line and for this line, for example, I am connecting the current carrying coil in series, and another current carrying coil of the second wattmeter is connected in series to this line. What is this line? This is first line, this is second line, and this is third line. And I am connecting the pressure coil. I am connecting the pressure coil in between first line and third line, and the second pressure coil also in between first line and second line. Okay. So here what we are using, it is a 3 phase 3 wire system. What is this system? It is a 3 phase 3 wire system with star connected lagging load. As it is a 3 phase 3 wire system, and we are considering one wire as the common wire, one wire as the common wire, so we can go for using 3 minus 1, which is 2 watt meters, to measure the 3 phase power. Now let us give the impedances Z1, Z2, Z3, and let us assume the voltages, and I am assuming this voltage as V1 with conventions like this, sign conventions like this, positive, negative, positive, negative, and I am assuming this voltage as V2 and I am assuming this voltage as V3, right? And this is the neutral, but there is no wire. There is a common point, but there is no wire, right? And I am assuming this wattmeter as W1. Let me change the color of the ink. So I am assuming this as the wattmeter W1 with current coil and pressure coil like this, and I am assuming this wattmeter as W2 with current coil and pressure coil like this, right? Now uh, let us see what is the instantaneous power and also give the currents like this. So this is I1, and what is this current? This is I2 and this is I3. Here I have specified with capital letters. Capital letters are used generally in order to represent RMS values, whereas the small letters are used in order to represent the instantaneous values. Let us see whether we can measure the power using W1 and W2. Okay, so let us see that. Let me change the color of the ink. So the instantaneous power measured by instantaneous power measured by W1, let us assume it as P1, and it is equal to the product of the instantaneous voltage measured by this pressure coil of W1 and instantaneous current measured by the current carrying coil of W1. What is the instantaneous current measured by this W1? So it is measuring the current I1. So I1 into what is the voltage it is measuring? Here also we need to we need to neglect the errors created due to the connections of current coil and pressure coil, as they are less when compared to power measurement. Three phase power is a large amount of power, so the measured power or the true power is very much greater than the errors created, so we can neglect them. Now the voltage measured by this pressure coil is the voltage between line 1 and the line 3. Is it right? The voltage measured by the pressure coil of W1 wattmeter 1 is the voltage between line 1 and line 3. So I can consider this as V13. V13. Similarly, what is the instantaneous power measured by W2? I am assuming this with the small p2, and it is equal to what is the current it is measuring? The current measured by the current coil of wattmeter 2 is I2 multiplied with the voltage between the line 2 and the line 3. So it is V23. Now adding the instantaneous powers measured by W1 and W2 will gives you I1 into V13 plus I2 into V23. Actually, what is V13? V13 is nothing but the line voltage, which is the difference between the line voltage V1 minus or the phase voltage V1 minus phase voltage V3. Is it right or not? Now I1 into V1 minus V3, in place of V13 I can write V1 minus V3. So if you have two letters in the suffix, you need to understand it as a line voltage or line to line voltage. If you have only one letter, you need to consider it as a phase voltage or line to neutral voltage. Okay, and I2 into, in place of V23 what I can write, V2 minus V3. So finally what you will get it as I1 V1, and it is minus I1 V3 plus I2 V2 minus I2 V3, I2 V3. Now from this term and from this term, if you take V3 as common and writing these two terms separately, so I1 V1 plus, and this term is I2 V2 minus I am taking V3 as common, so you will get minus I1 plus I2 into V3 P1 plus P2. Okay. Now, as there is no neutral wire, as there is no neutral wire, neutral wire, according to KCL, according to KCL, at n, at neutral or at point n, if you observe at point n here, the three currents are entering. I1 is entering, I2 is entering, and I3 is also entering. So according to KCL, the sum of the currents, entering currents, must be equal to leaving currents. As there is no leaving current, the sum of all the currents must be equal to 0. So I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to 0. By applying KCL at neutral, as there is no neutral wire in order to allow the neutral current, so the current is 0. The summation of all the currents is 0. Now in place of I1 plus I2, what I can write by this equation? I1 plus I2 can be written as minus I3. So by substituting minus I3 here, minus minus will get minus minus will gives you positive. So the summation of the instantaneous powers measured by the wattmeters W1 and W2 is nothing but I1 V1 plus I2 V2 plus I3 V3. Now this power is nothing but the three-phase instantaneous power. Okay, so total three-phase instantaneous power, it is also equal to instantaneous total instantaneous three-phase power. Okay, so the total instantaneous three-phase power is this one, and the total instantaneous power measured by the wattmeters is also this one. Hence we can say that by using these two wattmeters connecting in this way, okay, so this is very important. You need to connect the current carrying coil in two lines separately, and the pressure coils from these two lines to the third line, which is unused line. Okay, so this is unused line. If you connect this, if this is unused line, if you connect the wattmeters in this way and add the readings of the two wattmeters, you can obtain the total three-phase power. So this is nothing but the instantaneous power, sum of instantaneous powers measured by sum of instantaneous powers measured by wattmeter, measured by two wattmeters. Sum of instantaneous powers measured by two wattmeters is this one, and it is same as the total instantaneous three-phase power. So by this we can understand that we can measure the three-phase power using two wattmeter method. Okay, and if the load can be balanced or unbalanced, so the note here is the note, let me write the note here, the important note which we need to keep in your mind. The first note is either the load is balanced, either load is balanced or unbalanced, balanced or unbalanced, we can use only two wattmeters. We can use two wattmeters to measure three-phase power, to measure three-phase power. And the second note is whether the load is star or delta, the results will not change. Okay, so here I considered star connected lagging load. You can connect a delta connected lagging load also, you will get the same result. Okay, so these two are the two important points which you need to keep in your mind related to two wattmeter method, right? Now we will have some more discussion on two wattmeter method, which will be useful for your competitive examinations. I am considering a three-phase star connected load with the impedances represented like this, Z1, Z2 and Z3, right? And I am assuming this voltage as the V1. If you have the voltage with one letter of suffix, one letter at the suffix, you need to consider this as a phase voltage. If you have two letters at the suffix, you need to consider it as a line voltage, right? So this is V1, V2 and V3. These are the phase voltages with respect to line and neutral. With respect to line and neutral. Now this is the wattmeter W1. This is the wattmeter W1, which is connected like this. The current coil of the wattmeter is in first line and the potential coil is connected in between the first line and the third line. Similarly, this is another wattmeter. I am calling this wattmeter as W2. This is W2, and the current coil of the wattmeter W2 is placed in the line 2, and the potential coil is placed in between the line 2 and line 3, right? And these are the currents. Consider this current as I1, this current as I2, and this current as I3. This current as I3. Now let us see what how can we say that these two wattmeters are measuring the total three phase power. Let us see that. So the power measured by W1, okay, so power measured by W1 is given by, power measured by W1 is equal to uh, the current which the current coil of W1 is measuring. What is that current? I1. So the current coil of W1 is measuring which current? I1, because it is connected in line 1. And it is measuring which voltage? It is measuring the voltage between 1 and 3, because the potential coil is connected between 1 and 3. Okay, so this is the current coil, this is pressure coil, and this is the current coil, and this entire thing is pressure coil, right? So as the pressure coil of the wattmeter W1 is in between line 1 and line 3, so the voltage which it will measure is line 1 and line 3, and cos of the angle between these two quantities, which is I1 V13, the angle between I1 and V13. Okay, similarly, what is the power measured by W2? It is equal to, as the current coil of W2 is placed in line 2, the current it is measuring is I2, and what is the voltage the pressure coil of W2 is measuring? That voltage is the voltage between 2 and 3, so it is V23 cosine of the angle between these two, the angle between I2 and V23. Okay, now how can I find these angles? I can find these angles with the help of phasor diagram. Here for balanced load, for balanced lagging load, I am drawing the phasor diagram. For balanced lagging load, I am drawing the phasor diagram. Now what is the first? I am assuming V1 as the reference voltage, V1 as the reference voltage at 0 degrees. Now how will be V2? V2 makes an angle 120 degrees with V1, and it will be V3, which makes 120 degrees with V2, which lags 120 degrees from V2. So these are the phase voltages. Is it right? Now, how can you find the line voltage? What is the line voltage which I need here in the first reading? V13. So how can I get V13? V13 is nothing but V1 minus V3. This is V1. How can you get minus V3? Like this. Okay. If this is positive V3, it will be negative V3. Now the resultant of these two. What is the resultant of these two? The resultant of these two is V13. V13. Similarly, we need another voltage which is V23. This is V2. So V23 is nothing but V2 minus V3. If this is V2 and this is minus V3, let me write this. This is minus V3. So V2 minus V3 is V23. So the resultant of these two. So what is this voltage? So this voltage is V23. V23. Now, as we considered the load as lagging in nature, all the currents for the three phases lags the phase voltage by some angle. So I am assuming that angle as phi. Hence you will have I1 here which lags V1 by phi. Similarly, you also have I2 here which lags V2 by phi. Similarly, you also have I3 here which lags V3 by phi. So these are the currents I1, I2, I3. These are the voltages V1, V2, V3, and V23 and V13 are the line voltages. Now, what is the angle between I1 and V3, V13? This is V13 and this is I1. We know that from the three-phase circuits, the angle between phase voltage and line voltage. This is the line voltage and this is phase voltage. So the angle between line voltage and phase voltage is always 30 degrees. Is always 30 degrees. Now, if this is 30 and this is phi, what is this angle? This angle is 30 minus phi. Similarly, the angle between V2 and V23. V2 is a phase voltage, V23 is a line voltage. Now what is this angle? This angle is 30 degrees. If this is 30 and this is phi, what is the total angle? Total angle is 30 plus phi. Okay. Now let me write from this phasor diagram. Actually V13 is a line voltage. So I am assuming this as VL, considering this as VL, and V23 is also line voltage, so considering this as VL, and I1 is also line current, so I am considering this as IL, and I2 is line current, and again I am assuming it as IL. And what is the angle between, let me write here itself, what is the angle between I1 and V13 from the phasor diagram? This is I1 and this is V13. What is the angle between them? 30 minus phi. So 30 minus phi. Sorry. Let me erase this. So the angle between I1 and V13 is 30 minus phi. Similarly, if you observe from the same phasor diagram, angle between I2 and V23. What is this angle? This is I2 and this is V23. What is this total angle? Total angle is 30 plus phi. So 30 plus phi. Now substituting all these things in the above equations. Okay. The W1 and W2 values can be converted as, so W1 is equal to, you get I1 as IL, V13 as VL. So VL IL cos of, what is the angle between I1 and V13? 30 minus phi. So W is equal to, you will get VL IL cos of 30 minus phi. Similarly, what is W2 value? W2 value is, this is IL, this is VL cos of, what is this angle? 30 plus phi. So you will get VL IL cos 30 plus phi. Cos 30 plus phi. Now adding these two, adding W1 and W2, we will check whether the sum of these two readings obtained from the two wattmeters is equal to the total power consumed by the load or not. Okay, and if you observe here, VLIL is common in both the things, so I am taking VLIL as common, and it is cos 30 minus 5 plus cos 30 plus 5, cos 30 minus 5 plus cos 30 plus 5, and it is equal to VLIL. What is cos 30 minus 5? It is like cos A minus cos B. What is cos A minus cos B? Cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. So it is cos 30 cos 5 plus sin 30 sin 5. Similarly, what is cos 30 plus 5? Cos 30 plus 5 is cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So cos 30 cos 5 minus sin 30 sin 5. Now sin 30 sin 5 minus sin 30 sin 5 gets cancelled. You have 2 times cos 30 cos 5. So VL IL 2 cos 30 cos 5. VLIL 2 cos 30 cos 5. It is W1 plus W2, right? What is cos 30? Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. We know this already. So 2 into root 3 by 2 cos 5. So 2 gets cancelled. So finally you will get the summation of the two wattmeter readings as root 3 VL IL cos 5, right? This is equal to three phase power. This is the equation which we know already. This is the expression for three phase power. Consider this equation as the first equation. We can also express this as W1 plus W2 is equal to, for a star connection, VL is nothing but root 3 V phase. So root 3 gives you 3. So 3 V phase. For star connection, IL is equal to I phase. So I phase cos 5. Okay, you can write this or this, both remains same. Now let us see the what happens when we subtract the two wattmeter readings. When we subtract this W2 from W1, so W1 minus W2, what is this value which we will get? Now it is again VLIL cos of 30 minus 5 minus of cos 30 plus 5. Now it is equal to VLIL. What is cos 30 minus 5? It is like cos A minus B. So the formula is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. So it comes out to be cos 30 cos 5 plus sin 30 sin 5. Similarly, you get minus of cos of 30 plus 5 is cos 30 cos 5 minus sin 30 sin 5. Now if you see these two terms, here you will get cos 30 cos 5. When you send minus here, you will get minus cos 30 cos 5. So cos terms will get cancelled. Here minus minus will get plus. So sine times sine terms will get added up, which gives you W1 minus W2 is equal to VLIL times 2 into sine 30, 2 times sine 30 sin 5, where phi is the phase angle between the phase voltage, the voltage across the load, and the current flowing through the load, right? Now what is W1 minus W2? Sin 30 is 1 by 2. 2 into 1 by 2 is 1. So W1 minus W2 value is given by VLIL sin 5. This is the second equation. Consider this as the second equation. Now what I am doing is I am dividing the second equation with the first equation in order to get the power factor of the load. Means in order to decide or in order to find the power factor of the load from the readings of the wattmeters. Okay, what we are doing is we are doing 2 divided by 1. Now what happens? W1 minus W2 divided with W1 plus W2 is equal to VL IL sin phi divided with root 3 VL IL cos phi. Now VL IL both gets cancelled. Finally what you will get it as a tan phi, sin phi by cos phi is tan phi divided with root 3, and it is given by W1 minus W2 divided with W1 plus W2. Now what is tan phi? Tan phi can be written as root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided with W1 plus W2, right? And phi also can be given by tan inverse of root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided with W1 plus W2. So this is the equation, very important equation, which will be useful for the competitive examinations like GATE, IES, AP Genco, AP Transco. Everywhere you will get a question from this 2 wattmeter method, and this equation is helpful in order to find the power factor, uh, of load if you know the readings of W1 and W2. Power factor of the load if W1 and W2 is known. Okay, if W1 and W2 are known, which are the readings of the 2 wattmeters, from that we can find the power factor of the load, whether it is a unity power factor load or half power factor load. Like that we can find easily from these 2 readings of W1 and W2. And also we can find the powers W1 and W2, means to find W1 and W2, if we know total power and power factor. If we know total power, let me call it as W, and power factor. If you know the total power consumed by the load and the power factor of the load, uh, this equation helps us to find W1 and W2 values, and also to find the power factor of the load if W1 and W2 are known to us. Okay, let us see how can we find the power factors. I will start with the UPF, which is unity power factor. When the power factor is unity, means cos phi is equal to 1, right? And phi is equal to 0 degrees. It indicates that the load is a purely resistive load. For purely resistive load, the phase angle difference between the voltage and current is 0, and hence the power factor is unity. With these power factors, how can we find the readings of W1 and W2? So W1 is given by, just now we have seen, it is VL IL cos 30 minus phi, and W2 is equal to VL IL cos 30 plus phi, cos 30 minus phi, cos 30 plus phi. Okay, um, let us change the color of the ink. Now substituting phi is equal to 0 here and 0 here, you will get W1 as cos VL IL cos 30, VL IL cos 30. What is cos 30? Root 3 by 2, right? So it is root 3 by 2 VL IL. And what is W2? W2 is, by substituting phi 0 again, you will get W2 is also same, which is VL IL cos 30 degrees, right? It is not the power factor, it is the power factor, unity, right? and it is root 3 by 2 VLIL. Now it indicates that if the power factor of the load is unity, both the watt meters are giving the same reading. Both the watt meters are giving same reading, and this same reading is equal to if what is the total power, total three phase power. If the power factor is 1, so total three phase power is actually root 3 VLIL cos phi. If the power factor is 1, the total power W gives us total power consumed by the load, actual power consumed by the load. It is root 3 VLIL. It is the total power, and it is the power measured by W1, it is the power measured by W2. So if two wattmeters are reading the same value and the same value is equal to half of the total reading, then we can say that the power factor is a unity power factor, right? So what is the meaning for this? At unity power factor, both the wattmeters W1 and W2 reads the same value, and this value is equal to half of the total power. Next, go to the second case study. Second one is I am considering cos phi as 0.866, which is nothing but root 3 by 2. In that case, what is phi value? 30 degrees. Phi value is 30 degrees. Now let us see what is W1 value. I don't want to write this equation every time. Just substitute phi as 30 degrees in this equation. What you will get? VL IL cos 30 minus 30 is 0. So cos 0 is 1. So W1 is VL into IL. What is W2 value? By substituting 30 here, you will get cos 30 plus 30, 60. Cos 60 is 1 by 2. So the W2 reading is VL IL by 2. Now what is the relation between these two? W2 is nothing but W1 by 2. It indicates that one of the wattmeter reads twice of other wattmeter, or one of the wattmeter reads half of the other wattmeter. Okay, the question can be asked in any way. If one of the wattmeter reads half of another wattmeter, or if one of the wattmeter reads two times the another wattmeter, the power factor will be 0.866, or the phase angle will be 30 degrees, right? And so this is about the second case. Next we'll go for third case. So third case is when the power factor is 1 by 2 or half. In that case, what is phi value? It is 60 degrees. It is 60 degrees. Now let us find W1 and W2 values using the first two equations here. W1 is equal to VLIL cos 30 minus 60. Cos 30 minus 60. Similarly, what is W2? W2 is VLIL cos 30 plus 60. 30 plus 60. Now what is this value? Cos minus 30 is same as cos 30, because cos of minus phi is cos phi. What is cos 30 value? It is root 3 by 2. So you will get root 3 by 2 VLIL, and it is cos 90. Cos 90 is 0. So W2 value is 0. So W1 is equal to root 3 by 2 VLIL, and W2 is equal to 0. What does it indicate? If one of the wattmeter reading is 0, and let us see the total power. Total power W is equal to root 3 VLIL cos phi. It is actually root 3 VLIL cos phi. And what is the power factor now? Cos phi is 1 by 2. So root 3 by 2 VLIL. Now this is the total power, and this is the power measured by one wattmeter, and this is the power measured by the second wattmeter. If one of the wattmeter reads 0 value and the total power measured by the remaining wattmeter, then we can say that the power factor is half. This is the third situation. Let us go for the fourth situation. So these are very very important for your competitive examinations. That's why I am explaining this in detail. Otherwise there is no much stress is required here. Now what is cos phi value I am considering? I am considering cos phi as 0, means phi is equal to 90 degrees. When phi will be 90 degrees? If the load is purely inductive, if the load is purely inductive or purely capacitive. If the load is purely inductive or purely capacitive, in those cases the phase angle will be 90 degrees, which makes the power factor to be 0. Now let us find W1 and W2 values for these readings. So W1 is equal to, according to the first equation, what is W1? So it is IL VL, sorry, VL IL both are same, cos 30 minus 90. Cos 30 minus 90 is minus 60. Cos minus 60 is cos 60. So it is IL VL by 2. Next, what is W2 value? By substituting 90 here, you will get VL IL cos 30 plus 90. What is cos 30 plus 90? 120, right? Cos 120 is minus cos 30, minus sin 30, sorry. Cos 120 degrees is minus sin 30. So it gives you this value as minus VL IL by 2. Okay. Now what is the total power actually? Total power is equal to 0, because cos phi is 0. When cos phi is 0, the total power consumed by the load is 0. That is the reason why you got the two wattmeter readings as one as positive and another one as negative. If any one of the wattmeter reads negative value, actually you cannot get a negative value, because the pointer moves slight behind 0. If it is 0 and these are the positive values, the pointer slightly moves here. Okay, so because there is no space in order to show the negative reading. Now what we need to do, we need to change the terminals of the current coil. We need to change the terminals of current coil. Then the wattmeter will show reading. Even though it show positive reading, we need to consider it as a negative reading. If any one of the wattmeter is doing, or if any one of the wattmeter is measuring the negative power, it indicates that the power factor of that particular circuit is 0. So this is about the four situations. If you want, you can make a tabular column between the relations between power, between the relations between the powers of the wattmeters. Otherwise there is no need. If you understand the concept, okay, then no need to remember the tabular column, or no need to remember these four conditions or four cases. You need to understand the concept, right? So this is about the 2 wattmeter method of measuring the real power in case of 3-phase circuits. Now let us see the next topic of this class. So the next topic is measurement of reactive power by using single wattmeter. Okay, measurement of reactive power, measurement of reactive power using a single wattmeter, using single wattmeter. Okay, in the textbooks, if you observe, in the textbook, some of the textbooks like Sahne, you can observe that there is a 3 wattmeter method of measuring power and 2 wattmeter method of measuring power, and you can also observe in the textbook that there is a single wattmeter method of measuring power, real power basically. But uh, this method is not very much suitable because it contains some switches. Changing the switching position in high voltage circuits is not preferable. So that's the reason why we don't use a single wattmeter method for measuring the power in three-phase circuits. If it is a three-phase four-wire balanced system, let us see the important points which I made here. It is a three-phase four-wire system, right? If the three-phase four-wire system is a balanced system, then it is sufficient to use one wattmeter. Otherwise, the minimum number of wattmeters to measure the three-phase power is two. Okay. Now let us see the new concept, uh, which is not related to real power, but now it is related to measurement of reactive power in three-phase circuits, basically using single wattmeter. Okay, how can we do that? Let us understand how can we do that. So you have, I am connecting again a star connected load with Z1, Z2 and Z3. So this is the star connected load I am assuming, and these are the lines 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this is the line 2, this is the line 3, and okay, and if you observe, uh, this is Z1, Z2, Z3, Z3, whatever it may be. Consider this as a balanced system for simplicity, and these are the line voltages V1, V2 and this is V3 with the polarities like this: positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. These are some sign conventions that we have assumed. Now I have a single wattmeter with the current coil and the pressure coil. Now what I am actually doing is I am connecting the current coil in the first line. Means you can use anything, you can use second line or third line, whatever it may be. So connecting the current coil in one of the line and connecting the pressure coil in between the remaining two unused lines, right? So like this, so I am connecting the like this. Okay, so this is entirely a wattmeter, single wattmeter with the current coil placed in any one of the coil, and the pressure coil is connected between the remaining two unused lines. Okay, so this is the line 3, this is the pressure coil which is connected in between line 2 and line 3, and this is the current coil which is connected in the line 1. Now, uh, what is the power that the wattmeter is measuring? So power, it is not real power or reactive power. Right now I am assuming it as a power. Power measured by W1 depends upon the voltage. What is the voltage? The voltage measured by the pressure coil is V23. So V23, because the pressure coil is connected in between line 2 and line 3, and the current flowing through line 1 is I1, and cos of the angle between I1 and V23. This is the power measured by the wattmeter W1. Okay, or W, whatever it may be, W1 I am assuming. Now let us draw the phasor diagram again. um, let me change the color of the ink. So let us draw the phasor diagram again for a balanced system. This is V1, this is V2 and this will be V3. So V1, V2, V3, and how will be I1? For a lagging load, basically, I'm considering a lagging load here. Uh, I1 lags V1 by some angle phi. Is it right? And I got I1 now, and what I need is V23. What is V23? This is V2. V23 is nothing but V2 minus V3. If this is positive V3, this dotted phasor will be negative V3. So minus V3, right? Now, what is the resultant between V2 and minus V3? V23. So this voltage is V23. Now, what will be the angle between V23 and I1? First of all, what is this angle? It is a phase voltage. Is it right? It is a line voltage. So the angle between phase voltage and line voltage is always 30 degrees. We have seen this from the three-phase circuits. And uh, if this is 30 degrees, what is the angle between V2 V1? The angle between V2 and V1 is 120 degrees, because in a balanced system the angle between the voltages will be 120 degrees. Phase voltages will be 120 degrees. Now if it is 120 degrees total angle between V2 and V1, and the angle between V2 and V23 is 30 degrees, now what is this angle? The angle between V2 and V1 is 90 degrees. Is it right? This total angle is 90 degrees and this is 30. Total is 120. Now it is 90 between V23 and V1, and the angle between I1 and V1 is phi. Now what is this angle? This angle is very important, because I need the angle between these two, which is I1 and V23. This is I1, this is V23. Now what is this angle? This angle is 90 minus phi. What is this angle? 90 minus phi. Now substitute here. So W1 is equal to V23 is nothing but line voltage, so I am assuming this is VL, and I1 is also line current. Here this is I1, which is the current entering through this load. So IL cos of the angle between I1 and V23 is 90 minus phi. 90 minus phi. What is cos 90 minus phi? Sin phi. VL IL, you will get VL IL sin phi. W1 is equal to VL IL sin phi. So, in order to measure the total reactive power for three-phase circuits, what is the total reactive power? Total reactive power for the given three-phase load is root 3 times VL IL sin phi. But the value which we are getting from the wattmeter is VL IL sin phi. So in place of VL IL sin phi, if you substitute W1, you will get the total reactive power Q. Okay. So what is the meaning for this? When you connect a wattmeter like this by placing a current coil in one of the line and pressure coil in between any two lines, the reading which we obtain is VL IL sin phi. By multiplying the reading with root 3, you will get the total reactive power. Okay. In this way you can measure three-phase reactive power using a single wattmeter basically. The reason why we have studied this method is in your measurements laboratory, electrical and electronic measurements laboratory, you have an experiment named measurement of three-phase reactive power. Okay. In that experiment we use this method of measuring three-phase reactive power, right? So this is about the measurement of real power and measurement of reactive power in three-phase circuits basically.